All right, so let's find out what's new in the charts today. Okay, let's zoom in and see if nothing new visually here. I already see something. Okay, let's see where the indicators are at. Middle, top, top, middle, death cross. Hey, look at that. I said April 4th. Okay. I think I'm going to push this out by not one day, but by the 6th. Sometime between the 6th, maybe 6 or 7. I don't take a bet. But I'll say 6 for now, jumping 2 days into the future. Again, I'm still sticking to the target. I'm going to zoom in really close to show how this works. Um, golden cross right here, March 15, which was this candlestick right here. Price accelerated up, but right now this stalled out on March 30th. The price, instead of going down along with this, it's steady of trying to go up, which is contradicting the MACD. Right. So I've already spotted two patterns right now. And let's see, the pivot point P of 43,631 stays, and this is the one. So I just, for people that just started watching this video, I'm building on all my previous videos, which is just a handful, like 3, I think. So if some of this stuff doesn't make sense to you, go back to the previous videos, and hopefully you're able to quickly catch up. Okay, so let's break out of that into full screen. We need to see if we can visually spot patterns, which I think I spotted 2 already. Let's zoom in. Yeah, so 2 patterns that I see already, but I need, in order to see sharper clarity, I'm going to lower this to the 12-hour. Yes, I see 2 patterns. So we're going to first do this. That's a trend line. This is the top, lower it less, and then this. That means this is a trend line. So now we do this here. Now, I'm pretty sure for a bull person, this is something of good news. This is what we call bull flag. But starting point should be somewhere around here. So that means if I copy that line, should somewhere around here, give or take. Now, if I do this, remember what I explained in the previous video, you would be breaching the top Fibonacci. And when you do that, the retracement tends to be rather extreme. In fact, let's zoom in on other dates, because there's another pattern here. I just haven't drawn it yet, but I will. Let's see. So let's go to the 4-hour. Actually, there it is. The theory still stands right here. Let me delete the flag right here. That's perfect. It breached Fibonacci top line, but it also tried to breach the bear flag bigger pattern. So I'm going to zoom out. See the bear flag pattern. Again, if this isn't making sense, go back into the previous videos, and then it'll make sense what I'm talking about. So here, breached it, like I said, and then, as expected, a drop. And this is the blue line. We're above the blue line, so that's actually good for the bulls. But there's another pattern here, so I'm going to draw the other one already, because I think I know what's going to happen here. Yep, let's just stretch this out further into the future. Okay, so I'm doing this live so people see how I do my charting stuff. And then these two right here, I already spotted those two right there. I think that's as sharp as I can get it to be. Okay, so what's happening here is I'm going to zoom out and hopefully now people will see that one. So this is what we call a rising wedge. Now, a rising wedge is a bearish pattern. It's essentially a trap. It's a trap for bulls. People will think the price is going up, but if the price stays within this, at some point, and I want to say this is the point where the flag trend line goes, and then you have the pivot point resistance at 48. Between 48 and this range here of 48.8, almost 49, you should see it collapse. So I think this is the, if we go by the cycles, this might be the bull's last trap before it clobbers them down. So another thing here is let's adjust the date. So using cycles here, let's say the top of this last mini cycle. So I'm going to zoom out so people can see. Okay, so we have all these cycles, but there's this small cycle here. So that's like the last bit of hope for the bulls. So I'm going to adjust this to, I usually like to be out right before the next day. So on April 6th, and that would put us here. Let me go to the higher one, 12 hours. Yes, so let me maybe adjust it a little bit more with the cycle. Let's move it one more then to 7th. And then that might actually work out better for what I see coming. So yeah, so it might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this point right here, somewhere between the 8th, and then begin its final descent. I remain bearish now in here. Let's see the technicals. I'm just going through the stuff, people. So if this doesn't make sense, that's why you got to watch the previous videos. I'm just building on previous videos now. Yeah, see, for the 12-hour chart, this is bottom, midway, top, bottom. It's still pointing down. Neutral, midway, bottom, top. Everything here is mixed. So all the indicators are mixed. However, pattern is saying that this is a possible trap. So I'm going to see if I can draw it in. It should go something like, what is this? 1, 2, 3. Whoops. And then 4, and then 5 or something like that, and before it clap, it goes like that. Now, that's not to say that that will happen. I'm just saying that that looks like what's happening and building up here, getting ready to suck people down. So, yeah. That would be the rising wedge pattern, and I think the trap to get everybody excited, but around sometime between the 7th and the 10th might be when this peaks out. So this will be like, for the zooming out, this might be like this for the flag. 1, 2, 3, 4, somewhere here, 5. And then from there, we go down. It's a very tricky setup. I'm not gonna say that it's gonna happen, but let's go back to the 4-hour chart. So on the 4-hour chart, that's perfect. It's already topping. See that? Now the MACD here doesn't make any sense. Let me see. Yeah, see the MACD here on the 4-hour chart is useless today. It just goes up and down, up and down. So that's why you got to zoom out to bigger time frames. So let's go into, yeah, let's go into 12 hours and look at the MACD. Much cleaner. This is still saying it should go down, but we don't see that happening in the charts. So yeah. Yep. Okay, so now let's jump into another time frame. 1 day. Yep. And then here we're still on track. So, oh, Actually, that's perfect. So around April 8th, 7th or 8th, I want to say, the this wedge should just start taking everybody down. It's a difficult setup to see. Most people will think that we're going to go to the moon, but um, the indicators are still at like midway to top. So spiking up on this on the daily doesn't seem very likely. So I remain in my bearish position. I don't think it's going to rally. Of course, there's always the hope that the war in Eastern Europe comes to an end, but I don't think that war is gonna end anytime soon. There is one other thing I want everybody to consider, and I've said it before: geopolitics does affect cryptos now. Most people would have you believe otherwise, but look at this. What's the date? April 6th. We have an important meeting coming up. Where is it? Right there. On April 6th, we have the FOMC minutes. FOMC is basically the general discussion of the interest rates. So actually, I'd take it back. We should know around the 6th. Yeah, we should know what's going to happen sooner because let's see the MACD here. Yeah, actually, yeah. FOMC will decide the fate of the direction right here. If the FOMC signals that interest rates will not go up, then this pattern will try to break above. If FOMC, Federal Open Market Committee, signals that they're going to raise the interest rates, then this should break down because interest rates going up is equivalent to the dollar moving up in value. And when the dollar moves up in value, everything else, gold, silver, and crypto, and the stock market tend to tank. And so I believe this hasn't made up its mind of getting out of the bear flag or which direction to go as they're waiting for the Federal Reserve to give its opinion on the direction of interest rates. Now, if this is all new language to you, it goes back to what I've said that there's much more into what influences a cryptocurrency's price beyond uh, events, partnerships, and all that stuff. You really need to look at geopolitics and especially Jerome Powell from the Federal Reserve and what policies they're putting out there. And keep an eye out on the 10-year Treasury note. That also will signal and influence crypto. And again, I know a lot of people will disagree with that, but geopolitics and the Federal Reserve do influence. So, from the geopolitical perspective, the war in Eastern Europe between Russia and Ukraine, that will impact this. And remember that Putin has said that he wants some sort of victory by May 9th. So if he's not quote unquote winning the war right now, he might do something to force a victory. So what that is, I don't know. And we also have Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve scheduled to raise interest rates. So if he raises interest rates by a lot, it should push the market down and cryptos and gold and silver by a significant amount. And I only realized that FOMC is this Wednesday, so we have technically 2 days left, which falls in line with this April 6th. So yes, we do have significant events that will decide the fate of this. Now, for the bulls, I'll just level with them because I know they want to see this. There is a bit of a bull flag forming here, like this. Actually, right there. There's from here to here. It's a bit of a bull flag, but then within it you have a rising wedge. So take your pick which pattern you want to use, but using indicators it should guide you that same. The one that has the higher odds of winning is the rising wedge, setting up a trap for everybody, thinking that you're going to rally. When it goes into death cross, boom. And so for that, I do want to show death cross movements here, right there. So actually, this is perfect. Let me zoom in here. I'm going to put the line to show how this works. So at this right here, right before you hit the death cross, I'm on the left chart, February 17th, and on the right side it was I'm sorry, February 16th. Right before you hit the death cross, you had a candle, and you had that again, that 43,631 that I talked about for the current pivot point. Back then, going below it accelerated the downward pressure, and again, if you followed the MACD death cross, accelerated the price down. So what do you think is going to happen here when we get to this point up here, which is around April 6th or 7th? You get to the cross, I would expect this thing to just all of a sudden take a dive to this area right here before making up its mind of up or making up its mind of down. Um, when we get to this area, that's when I'll see the charts again and the indicators. But as of right now, I know a lot of people are still very bullish. They want everything to be back up in blue skies ahead and all that. I need confirmation. We need to get out of the bear flag in order for me to join that camp and say, okay, look, we got out of 40, we're above 50. Fine. If our target is 73, which is the maximum Fibonacci, who cares if you start out at 51.8 or 52? From 52 all the way to 73, that's massive gain. So who cares? But until there's confirmation, I don't do anything. And right now, I just see more traps being set up for people to get suckered in. Hopefully, I'm wrong because I do hold a lot of crypto. But if I'm not, I mean, all it is, it's just I'll know exactly when to buy back in. So I think that's it for this video. Again, if some, I know that this time I didn't really explain much. I was just going live doing stuff. If it didn't make sense, um, go back to my previous videos, watch them, and that should help out. So I think that's it. Good luck, everyone.